your general thoughts on the game?
It's good. It's good to have to be in a close game and try to grind something out. Have to play the free throw game and just execute different things on both sides of the ball. That's a good team. We knew that was going to be much different than the first game. They took Oregon down kind of to the wire, and so it was good for our guys to be in a situation like that. So happy we got the win though.
Open it for questions.
You had stretched in the second half. You were sub 50% on free throws. Is that something you're concerned about? Like, what's your thought there?
Yeah, I mean, I am concerned about it. It's kind of been a common theme in some of these exhibition games. So, there's no real magic secret to it. You got to step up there and knock them down. I mean, we try to encourage our guys to shoot as many as they can. So, we'll just keep working at it.
What do you attribute the causes of what allowed the UC Riverside to really get back into it when you guys, I think, had a 16, 17-point lead?
Yeah, I mean, shot making, lapses defensively. I mean, they got some guys that can really put pressure on your defense, and so they weren't going to go away. It's a really well-coached team, and they just stayed the course, and maybe we got a little happy after that run we made. So, we got to be better there.
It seemed like post play was working really well for you guys. Fusen came out, had a nice night, and obviously Yegor kind of finding the guys. Just what was working so well between those two? Yeah,
I mean, I thought it was a different game. Every game presents a different challenge. Their scheme is built around guarding a three-point line. That's why we only got 22 of them up. I wasn't happy with our shot selection across the board, but I was happy with Kaba and Foos. They combined for 27 points, 16 rebounds, and 3 blocks on an extremely efficient night from the field. So, to score 48 points in the paint collectively as a team, against anybody is a good number. So I just would have liked to have seen, some of our non-paint and non-rim attempts be, maybe extra passes and so forth that could have gotten us a couple more 3 attempts.
It's a fairly experienced squad. They had 4 of the 5 starters back this year. Is it hard to compensate with? Is your team trying to get on the same page with those guys having all that experience playing together?
I mean, it's definitely a strength of that team. I think for us, not having Dallin, I think rears its head at times. He's clearly a steadying force. I mean, he's our starting point guard. The guy's not out there. So, I mean, where it really throws us off a little bit is when we, when Yegor comes off, Eli struggled a little bit. Was super proud of the way he bounced back in the second half. I thought he was tremendous in his stint in the second half. So, yeah, I mean, you take an experienced group like that and you pull an experienced guy off of our group, and it's going to be, good for our guys to have to learn how to play against teams like that, regardless of who we have out there.
Following up on Dallin, do you expect him back next week?
Yeah, I mean, he's on a good path. Like I said the other night, I mean, we don't want to rush him back. Again, this is not going to be a long-term thing, but we just want to make sure that when we get him out there, he's ready to go. So, just following the medical people there.
What were your thoughts on that play around the 13-minute mark? Richie Saunders, that effort, he gets that block, where it looked like it was an open opportunity for the Riverside player.
Wasn't surprised. I mean, that's just who he is. You guys know it better than I do, but it was a big play. This guy never quits on anything. I thought we had a couple, really igniting defensive possessions. There was another one where I think we got a shot clock violation. It was like 1,000 deflections on one play, it felt like. But those plays are huge, especially at home.
What have been your impressions of Yegor stepping in that point guard spot in relief of down these 2 games?
I mean, he's been really good. 20 and 7. Only, I think for me, only 2 turnovers. Against a really gritty team. So, and efficient. His scoring's been super efficient the last 2 games. So, I mean, he's a talented guy. I mean, you guys see it, and so I think it's really good for him to have to handle the load right now while we're down bodies and have to do it in a close game like this. I thought he made some massive plays down the stretch that really put it over the top for us.
You had him and Richie played 30-plus minutes in this game. Is there a level that you're not willing to go above? Are you willing to play him as much as you need to at this point?
I mean, I don't really want to play a guy for 40 minutes, but you want to win the game. So honestly, that's still a work in progress. Not happy with only playing Mag 4 minutes. Like, he's a guy that should have been out there more. And so, there's different things that I'm watching and I'm seeing and continuing to evaluate, and those are tough decisions.
It's like, I'm assuming it's just a feeling out process during this non-conference slate to find out where guys fit, I guess, best in your lineup.
Yeah, and again, like I'm huge on. This is not a siloed thing for me, subbing. Like it's a combination. So like when Dallin is not in there, then it becomes tricky because do you have enough shooting? Do you want to play two non like prolific threats from the 3-point line at the same time? How does that impact who's out there? So, there's a lot more that goes into it than just one guy's in, one guy's out. And that's something that I've always believed in, and just hope as we work through this process of playing all these teams that we can really fine tune what all those little, what's the right recipe.
How'd you feel about Dawson's performance after a tough opening night, at least offensively, 8 points tonight? How'd you feel about his?
Yeah, he came and he made that big three in the second half. I think I tried to use him more as almost a secondary ball handler as well. Early in the second half, that's why he was out there early. And then late in the game, having another ball handler that can handle that full court pressure and knock free throws down. So he's an important part of what we're doing. He's gonna, he'll have a big role. I think it'll rear its head. Maybe not every night, but it reared its head even in our exhibition schedule. He was a guy that really helped us play extremely well in one of those games.
Any more questions?
Any thoughts? You and the team going to watch the football game tomorrow? BYU Utah. Any thoughts there?
So I think everybody will be glued into that. My kids are probably more excited than anyone. They've quickly caught on to the rivalry, so they're all in on it. So it'll be fun.
Queens can be an interesting situation. I think they're playing back-to-back one night of Utah, the next night here in Provo. Does that change anything for you guys, knowing that they may have some tired legs?
Not really. I mean, I think we want to execute our game plan, regardless. I mean, I used to say this in the NBA all the time. There's no asterisks in the win-loss column on back-to-backs. No one cares. So you got to go out there and do what it takes. But to your point, you do emphasize, hey, maybe let's run a little bit more, especially back-to-back and the altitude. It does feel very NBA-like with that type of thing. So, that's something that we can kind of make a point of emphasis.